Yes. I thought it was, a good match. Camila is always very tough. You kind of never know what you're going to get. She's a great ball striker, good athlete, goes for her shot. So I knew what I had to do. I've played her several times this year already, a lot of times throughout my career. So I knew what I needed to do, but sometimes it depends as well on how you're playing and how she's playing. But I think I was able to kind of execute what I wanted to do today.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Andrew, I didn't give you a shot last time. Go right ahead.
No problem. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Andrew Jones, ESPN and Skate. Just congrats on the win in the performance where I just talked to Camila, and she felt that she didn't even play badly, just that you played so well for how you played in this summer and played at such a high level. Where would you assess that performance from the matches that you played in Montreal winning and just in general how dangerous she is?
Yeah, I think it was one of my better matches. Maybe more how I was playing kind of in Montreal than, let's say, Cincinnati, at least conditions-wise, and how I was striking the ball. So, yeah, I mean, I just played really solid. I had a lot of depth on my shots, which is important against her because she's someone that plays very aggressive and can attack. But, yeah, I think I just did everything really solid. I don't think I did anything spectacular, but everything was pretty even. I'd say the only thing, the first set, my serve was a little off, but I was able to get it back and actually serve okay in the second.
Summer for you, and yet you were able to get that rest from how Cincinnati went. Do you feel fully all good now and just ready to rock and roll here like that?
Yeah, I feel good. It's nice, obviously, to have some time in between Cincinnati and the Open, and here it's always very busy. There's a lot to do. There's a lot going on. It's New York, so it's nice to come in here feeling refreshed. I think you have to be in order to want to take on hopefully the next couple weeks here in the city.
Okay, Chris.
Jess, congrats on the win. Chris Otto with the U.S. Open. Doing a piece on late bloomers, and I think you're the last piece of the puzzle for me. It probably seems like a lifetime ago, like that, where there were 5 years where you were struggling with injuries, not breaking into the top 100, not winning much at slams, and then things clicked in 2020, and now you're here. And my question for you is, what kind of fortitude, what kind of perseverance, what kind of things did you need to do to keep believing in that period that you'd have a career like you do now?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, looking back, I think I've said this before. Sometimes I'm like, what was I doing? Like, I really don't know what was going through my head at certain points in my career when I was younger. I don't think if I didn't get injured, I don't think I'd be where I am today. And that sounds corny or cliche, but it's really true. I mean, I learned so much from those injuries and when I was hurt that I became I don't know why, but I became obsessed with getting better. And I was so much more anal and detail oriented on everything that I did, my warm-ups, my practices, my cool downs, my rehab, everything. And I think it's because all I could do was really rehab for those few years in and out of injuries. And that forced me to be really present and into, rehab can be very monotonous and boring and a long kind of process. But I just wanted to do everything possible I could to try to make sure that I wouldn't get hurt again. And that was my main goal. It was I'm not getting hurt again. This isn't happening again. And so I just became really obsessed with making sure I was healthy and getting better. And I think that kind of carried over into every aspect of my career and my tennis. And then I just worked really hard at it. And I think I became a lot more confident in who I was. Around 24, years old, I was very confident with making my own decisions, where I think when I was younger, I would maybe not feel as comfortable making those decisions, whether it was my schedule or the matches or my practices, or doesn't matter what it was. So I think I took ownership, I think, of my career, and I really was this is what I'm going to do. If I mess up, it's on me, but this is my decision. And I think that really gave me a lot of confidence throughout the years of scheduling tournaments. And I think all those things kind of played into my success. So it's a lot of different things. But yeah, it was definitely, I think, just maturity too. I just kind of grew up and took ownership of all the aspects of my career.
Court.
Courtney Nguyen, WTA. Congrats, Jess. A little bit off of Chris's question, but you have a very good record against Camila, and your first match was years ago in Lutz, I think, when you were probably a teenager.
Florida.
Was that Florida?
It was like a challenger, right?
Was it? Okay.
Was it? Or do they not count that?
It's on the thing, but
Do they count challengers?
not technically in an official head-to-head.
Oh.
I mean, you played her in one.
Where's Let's?
That's what I was going to ask you. Tampa. I'm hearing Tampa.
Yeah, I think it's Florida. I think it's a challenger.
Okay.
Because I vaguely remember playing her on clay court and like beating her there. It was a good win for me. She was like the 1 seed or something, and I was younger. And that's I mean, we like go back to like challenger days. Like we even played a lot in challengers. They probably don't even have all those on record.
Do you like, what was challenger life like for you? Is, I guess, my question, kind of using that as a jumping off point. But you're a teenager and you're going around. I mean, what was it like to be Jess Pegula on the Challenger Tour?
I honestly think it's harder on the Challengers Tour than when you actually get to the level here. Not that still isn't hard, but to a certain extent, it's like when you're on the Challenger Tour, everyone just wants to win so freaking bad, and they're trying to get out of there. And everything around you, like, seems, I don't know what it is, like, plays into it. It's like you're on the back court, on a bad court. The umpire sucks. Like, you're getting bad calls. There's coaching. There's all these things that, like, don't happen here that I think levels everybody out. No matter how good you are, it, like, kind of balances everyone to where you're, like, on the same playing field, because it's just, like, all this random stuff happening. You know, rain delays, there's nowhere to go. Like, you're at a little clubhouse and the schedule's not out and there's no practice courts and there's no ball. Like, it's like everything, I think, evens everyone out in a way, which makes it really, really hard. And then I feel like when you get here, I don't know, it's not that girls don't want to play, but, you know, all it takes is one girl doesn't want to show up that day, or she's sick, or she's tired, or she just came off a good result, and then someone pulls out, and then you win one good match, and you're in the third round, and you're like, okay, this isn't as hard as I thought it was. So, not saying that happens every time. It could be the opposite, but I don't know, it's just different. I think it's harder being out there.
Larry and then Willie. Larry.
Hi, Larry Brooks, New York Post. You're seated third, you're ranked third, and yet so much of the talk about American women winning here is focused on your doubles partner. Do you have any reaction to that? Does it give you incentive, or you laugh at it, or there's nothing?
I don't know, maybe it's good. Coco can take it, that pressure, not me. I don't know. No, I don't mind. She's been winning a lot. I think she deserves a lot of that attention. She's obviously very young. She's been playing really well. She's super electric to watch. She loves the crowd, loves New York. So I don't really have a preference. Either way, I think I just want to continue to win matches and do the best that I can. But it's I don't know. It's like, it's fun that it's nice that, like, even though I am the top American, I can't imagine carrying a ton of pressure if it was only me. So it's nice that there's a lot of us that are doing well and that have chances to go deep here, because at the same time, I don't think I'd take it, but at the same time, it's kind of nice too, not feeling like I have to be the one that has to win the US Open when there's like 6 other girls that could do it. So that's nice, I guess.
Willie.
Weinbaum from ESPN. Congratulations. When you were speaking before about your maturity and different aspects of your development, how has your view and processing of winning and losing changed as you've gotten older? And what is it like now when you do have a rough match and lose?
Yeah, that's a good question. When I look back and think about how I used to approach matches, I think I just freaked out way too much and made everything such a big deal. But when you start winning and you start putting yourself in those situations, you realize how it's not that big of a deal. Like, it's a big deal, but when you're out there, you're much more relaxed, you're calm, you're making decisions. I definitely would be the one when I was younger in those matches to get caught up in my frustration if something wasn't working. I didn't really know how to problem solve or how to change my game plan or how to play with the score and play with the momentum. Like, those are all things I really had to learn and come by. And that's why, when I look back at some of my old matches when I was younger, and I'm like, what was I even thinking? I don't know what I was doing because I'm like now so much different. and honestly probably just played really stupid when I was younger. Like I just didn't play smart at all. I was completely the opposite of what everyone thinks I am now, which is hilarious. But yeah, I would say, and then approaching losses, you know, when you're younger, the losses seem, because if you think a match is a super huge deal, when you lose, it's like the worst day of your life and it feels horrible. And I think now still, like, there are tough losses where it's really, really, really hard, but I'm able to bounce back a lot quicker, and I'm able to just one day, okay, I'm upset, maybe two, and I'm able to flip the switch and be like, all right, well, what do I need to work on? What do I need to change? What can I get better at? And I think that's where, when I was younger, I would think, I don't know if I really went into that thought process that quick. I would work hard, but I don't think I would mentally kind of get over it. Like I wouldn't be able to flip it and go, all right, now I need to improve. It was more, oh, I can't believe I blew that match, or I can't believe I had those chances and I lost it and I don't know how I'm going to win. And it'd be much more negative kind of a thought process. But yeah, I don't know. It's so different. I'm just a different person. Like the thought process is just so different. And of course, there's still really, really tough losses that are really hard. But then, yeah, I don't know. I'm able to kind of bounce back and go back to the drawing board and figure it out. Yeah, when I was younger, I'm not sure. I think I would just get too upset when I lost those matches.
Court, last one.
Just in terms of the camaraderie that you were mentioning before, just not having to be the single focus of a nation, which a lot of other players are. I'm curious if that kind of rooting interest that you seem to have, like not just you, but all the American players for each other, is that just pure national pride, or is that like friendships from up the ranks? Like, because it seems like a very different vibe on the ATP and WTA side of the American crew right now.
What does it seem like? Good vibe?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. I didn't, like, in years past, it's been a little bit more competitive sometimes in pockets and, that sort of thing. But it seems like people are getting along. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, we are. We definitely all get along. Well, I think that's what it is. I think we all get along and we all train together or practice together. And I don't know why, maybe it's this generation of players, but yeah, I think we all genuinely like are friends and we practice together and we still want to beat each other, but it's nice for us to see other people. And I think we've kind of embraced the fact that even though we're all competing for rankings and tournaments, and even if you play each other, you want to beat each other, you're pushing each other at the same time. And I think that's something that I think the guys are doing well with Fritz, Paul, TFO. Like you see them kind of pushing each other and they're all going higher and higher and higher. And again, I don't know if it's something that you're consciously thinking of, but it's definitely happening. I mean, I could even say that with Coco and I, like, we've kind of come up the ranks together. I mean, even though we have a big age gap, but at the same time, we're at the same kind of area of our career, did well in doubles together. And then even this summer, like she won DC and played a great match, and then I beat her, and I feel like that gave me confidence to win the tournament. And then I think her seeing me win the tournament gave her confidence to win Cincy. And I think those are just little things that when you practice with someone a lot and you're around them and you have a good mindset and you're pushing each other, when you see each other, I even remember when I was hurt watching all the American girls do well. And I'm like, oh, well, I mean, I beat them in practice, that like I could be doing the same thing. So I think you kind of, there's a little edge of pushing each other as well. I think that's kind of something we're all doing, but at the same time, we're all pretty good friends and get along really well too. And yeah, I feel like it's a good vibe right now. And I hope we can have good success at this tournament for sure.